Hi, everyone, and welcome to the latest edition of the Bison Video Blog. Along with the esteemed Jeff Kolpack on this President's Day, he's the president of the Video Blog. I am only Dom Izzo. Welcome as we're a month away from Selection Sunday, Jeffrey. So here we go, as the next month ought to be fun to determine who's going to win the automatic bid for both the Summit League and the men and the women. The Bison had an interesting road trip. We talked about it a week ago at this time. A split would be great, and boy, it came awfully close to them sweeping on the road or going the opposite way and maybe losing both games. Let's start Thursday night in Denver against the Pioneers in a game where Corey Brown got hurt, left the game after 3 minutes in. Then they get on ESPN in the most ridiculous finish possible as they end up beating the Pioneers, even despite the fact Denver hit a buzzer beater to tie it. That was a remarkable game in its own right, led again by number 12, who was Player of the Week again today.
Lawrence Alexander is just putting on a season to remember.
No doubt.
He's already the Summit League Player of the Year in my mind, and I think in a lot of people's mind. Keep in mind, Paul Miller was sick in this game too, so they had to come. What a shot that was. You think that was the game winner with 2.7 seconds left. Here comes Brett Olson, let it fly. And you know what? Teams practice that a lot. You think it might be a fluke. NDSU actually practices a half-court shot a lot at the end of practice. You'll see them heaving up shots like that just in case those situations arise.
That was a huge win, especially considering the fact they had to fly on Friday. We didn't think Brown would play. He ends up in the starting lineup as they play against the Jacks on Saturday. They had the lead late in the second half. South Dakota State used that home crowd advantage and then ekes out the win late in that one.
I was watching Corey Brown warm up, and it took a while for him to get going. It's like the oil in the knee had to go. And by halftime, he was not the same Corey Brown. I thought they were a better lineup without him anyway in the first half, so they shut him down. In the second half, Lawrence tried to do his thing. There he did, driving the lane. But this road trip, it's one of those scheduling problems. When you have to go Thursday to Denver and then Saturday to South Dakota State.
But to your point, and this is something maybe going forward for the league since they're at 9 teams. Remember in the old days, the Bison and Jacks traveled together. That's not the case anymore. The schedule is all different. That I don't know if that gets addressed in this offseason because that Denver to Brookings one is not easy. I don't know who you pair Denver with, though. That's the problem.
Well, the way to fix it is to add
another team. Yes.
Get the league up to 10, and then you can have an easier schedule. I don't know how you address it with an odd number of teams. I think this is probably the best you can do. There's probably several ways to go about it, but either way you look at it, it'll never really end up perfectly fair.
All right, so here we go. With 3 games to go in the regular season, the Bison and the Jacks are each 10-3. NDSU hosts IUPUI on Thursday, a team they already beat in overtime this season. Then, as you mentioned, the showdown with Fort Wayne. The Mastodons are the hottest team going in the conference. But a Bison win either on Thursday would eliminate IPFW from a chance to win the league. So right now, NDSU either will be the first or the second seed. It really looks like that for the Summit League tournament and gets that precious day off before the semifinals.
Right, and that's the huge thing is to get one of the top 2 seeds. The regular season title, it's all nice and dandy, and it looks good on the resume.
It's the NIT bid. I will mention that.
It does get an NIT bid, but I'm in the big picture of the NCAA tournament and trying to make the big dance. You need to get the 1 or 2 seed because, like you say, if you win that game on Saturday, then you get that day off on Sunday.
The Bison women lost at home. I was at the game on Saturday against Omaha, 6th straight loss. They seem to be coming back down to earth after a great start to their season. They battled some injuries. Taylor Thunsted's got a broken nose. She's wearing the mask right now. They have 3 games to go in their season. Right now, sitting at 9 wins, and a possibility they're going to have to play either the Coyotes or the Jacks in the first round of the Summit League tournament now.
Appears to me that other teams have figured out how to play NDSU, and that, of course, is to stop Brick Lamar or concentrate on her.
And she got hurt, too, on Saturday.
Right. So, and that's what happens when you get a team over the course of a season. They're eventually going to figure you out.
We got to mention some track stuff because what Erin Teschuk is doing on the Bison women's track and field team right now is stunning. What she's done. First off, a couple of weeks ago, she sets the 8th fastest time in the world in the mile, and then what she does Saturday is break the NDSU school record in the 3,000 meters by 28 seconds. Are you kidding?
And that was a 30-year-old record. Nancy Dietman set the mark in 1985. The improvement that she's made is just absolutely blowing me away, being kind of a track guy that I am and a running guy. Keep in mind, okay, how does this happen? I think number one, facilities. You have that new indoor facility, and that really just helps your training in general. You're not running outside. You're not running around the BSA with all that going on.
Avoiding baseballs.
Baseball, basketball is going on. And number two, let's not overlook what Andrew Carlson's brought to the table here. He's an elite runner. He was a professional runner, and he's the assistant coach now in charge of the distance runners. And you cannot do this without having the right training and the right coaching, and then you also have the right mindset of the athlete.
And she's only, maybe what Andrew Carlson said, is scratching the surface of her potential. And this is scary considering, obviously, the NCAA Indoor Championship is coming up later this month, and with the outdoors still to come in May.
Keep in mind, in the mile, she was over 5 minutes just over a year ago. And she's running around a 5:03, and now she's running a 4:32, 4:34. Yep. And that, I always thought when I ran 10Ks, if I can improve 30 seconds over like a couple year period, that's in a 10K.
Yeah.
We're talking mile run here. We're talking a 3K. That improvement is just unbelievable.
Are we staring at another All-American here to add to the list of the impressive ones they've already had on the women's side especially?
100%, absolutely. If she keeps it up and if she maintains the pace that she can. Now, you got to peak. You got to peak toward NCAA tournament.
Correct.
And we'll see if she's on that track or she's already reached her limit. Well, who knows?
This week is also a huge week for football junkies like myself. The NFL Combine begins on Thursday. The FCS will send 27 representatives. It's a really good haul of guys. The Missouri Valley alone, Jeff, will have 5 guys that Bison fans know very well. We'll talk about the 2 NDSU reps in a second. First, I want to go through the opponents that we've seen. We'll start off with, obviously, with Zach Zenner from South Dakota State, who put up all sorts of impressive numbers, not necessarily against NDSU. What do you see for him, for his NFL future? What can he do at the next level?
Zach Zenner is a tough runner. He's got more speed than you think he does, but he just doesn't strike me as an NFL runner, and I'm not sure why. I don't know if he's 5'10", and he's 220. You're looking at somebody who I think has to find their right niche in the right team.
Michael Pruitt is maybe a guy that Bison fans know of a little bit. Missouri Valley fans absolutely do. The tight end out of Southern Illinois. He had this outstanding catch against the Bison for a touchdown earlier this year. 3-time all-first league selection, 6'3", 255. The way the NFL is going with tight ends, this guy's going to get drafted, I think.
I think he's going to get drafted. He has the right size, he has the right speed, and good hands. And we saw that over the last 4 years. Just anything in his general direction, he was able to catch it.
Bison fans are waving bye-bye to this guy, and David Johnson, who I think was the best player in the league over the last couple of years. 6'2", 225. He can do it all. Catches one-handed passes. He did that against NDSU this season, even though he didn't score against the Bison in this game. You'll remember the touchdown he had in 2013. I think he's a phenomenal player, and we'll get that. Some scouts are saying a third-round pick for this guy.
And he's niftier than what you think at 6'3", and how big he is. We saw that on the kickoff returns against NDSU, how he's able to sidestep defenders just on a dime.
The other running back is John Crockett. Obviously, we know all about him. NDSU second all-time leading rusher. What a season he had in 2014. What does he have to do at the Combine? Can he do anything to really show off to the scouts to say he's worth a draft pick?
Well, obviously, I think you're looking at speed. I think 4.5, sub 4.5 would really help him. He's a tougher runner than a lot of people think, too. He can take a punch. He can deliver a punch. And I don't know how you prove that, but you do all those tests when it comes to the Combine. But when it comes to if he'll get drafted or not, I don't think he will. I think he'll be a free agent.
What about Kyle Emanuel? Because we're hearing a lot about him. Obviously, the position is going to be the interesting case with number 53, because I don't think defensive end is where he's going to play in the NFL.
Too small to be a defensive end. Has to find the right team. I think a 3-4 team would be perfect for him as an outside linebacker. I think he has linebacker written all over him. Now, he's been on the line of scrimmage. He's been down the whole time. Can he play with his,
his hands up?
Hands up, as you say. I think in the NFL, they'll probably judge him on that. He has to find the right team.
Terrence West, Isaiah Crowell, Jarek McKinnon all went to the Combine last year. Obviously, fans of this area know Jarek McKinnon from Georgia Southern ended up playing quite a bit for the Vikings. Terrence West, we know quite a bit. He ended up leading the Cleveland Browns in rushing. Big E, I know, will be all over this. He's a great Combine mind, and we'll update that as we go along.
Why am I here? You should be talking to him about that.
You're a great FCS mind. That's why we
I'm
have
totally
you here.
faking it when it comes to this Combine.
Now you just blew it for everybody watching. They're just going to throw out your opinion. There you have it, folks, our latest edition of the Bison Video Blog.